It
We
don't
back.
matter the color of the skin, either woman or man, just let the case land. It's here, it's in safe hands. This is God work, not a fake plan. Too many kids being found in these lakes, man. This is MTGV, and you with Miss V.
Welcome
She
in,
keep her
everybody.
ear to the street, like a drum to a beat. This is the place that you wanna be, but all trolls we delete, you better believe. Just so you know we on go, for those that's taking these souls, we know, but it's getting so out of control. Just so you know
We're going to be talking about Karmelo
for those
Anthony.
that's taking these souls, we know, but it's getting so out of control. Thank you for tuning in to MTGV, True Crime TV. Y'all know what it is, man. Team Vibe, Miss V. Hey, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And make sure you leave a comment, too. Yeah.
Shout out to everybody in the building. Thank y'all for coming over for the Karmelo Anthony. Welcome in, Sharon. How you doing? So I wanted to look at this case for the first time. I want to catch up. We're going to be following this. There's a lot going on, a lot of moving and shaking with this case. And so Karmelo, let me turn this down. Give me 1 second. Karmelo is one place I heard he was 16, another place 17, but he was a high school student. He ran track, and there was a argument because a guy was telling him to get out of the tent, get from under their tent. He wasn't supposed to be there, and it escalated. I don't know what the truth is 100%, but it was self-defense. He felt like it was self-defense. They asked him to move for whatever reason. Well, they said that he didn't belong under their tent. They wanted him to move. I guess he was under the tent because it had started raining. I don't know how long he had been there. I'm hearing different stories, but the first thing I want to follow is just see what the news is saying, and we're gonna get into it because I have heard that the news was also being biased and stuff like that in the beginning. I've heard that the judge has gotten threatened and is allegedly in hiding. I don't know how true that is. I seen that right before I came on here. So let me go to an article starting out first to see what they are saying. So the article that I'm gonna read, I guess, let me see. I'll read the latest article from CBS News, and this is from the 14th. It says Karmelo Anthony, 17 years old, charged with first-degree unaliving in a fatal jabbing of a teen at a Frisco track meet earlier this month. He was released from jail on bond. Now, they had his bond at $1 million, and it got taken down, reduced to $250K. And so earlier on Monday, a Collin County judge lowered Anthony's bond. Now, I'm going to see if I can find some information about this judge being threatened and in hiding and all of this stuff. I don't know if that's true. But I could believe it because people are upset. I heard they got the man's GoFundMe shut down, but right away with that, what do I think about? Because I know that they've criminals, people that have done things like this before, but the opposite color, they never got theirs shut down and was able to gain so much money. Specifically, the one that unalived Trayvon Martin, he had all kind of people donating, and Kyle Rittenhouse. Those are the two that I know about. Gained million. I think Rittenhouse, they donate, his donators, was it in the millions, a $500,000 or something? But last time I heard, Karmelo had like over 400,000 on his GoFundMe from his supporters. everybody not feeling like he was guilty. People are feeling like he was protecting himself, but we gonna see where the evidence lead us. So it says right here earlier on Monday it was reduced to 250,000. And Anthony walked out of jail silently with a few people beside him, and I do have a video of that. Let me see. Let me go to that. Please smack the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Right here was when he was walking out, and you know, the reporters was all over him. They start basically doing a little run to get away from the one woman that ran up on him so hard, like, what's your self-defense plan? And her, she was all in it, but that's what they do. Okay, so his family and friends of Austin, his family and the family of Austin Metcalf arrived at Collin County Court with extra security. Unfortunately, as is common in our culture, especially lately, the vitriol and public reactions one way or the other has been intense, and threats of talk of race, war, and all kinds of insanity isn't good for obviously the Anthony family, said the defense attorney Mike. So we're gonna get into the different videos that's circulating. One of them that caught my attention was the twin brother. Welcome in, Miss Tracy. Thank you for coming in. Sharon said, I was lowered because in Texas you have a right to defend yourself. Oh, it was lowered because of that. Okay, so do they have the stand your ground law? Is that what it's called there in Texas? I mean, I figured it would. They definitely welcome toting guns and all of that stuff. So I don't know if it should have been that high in the beginning. You know, like you don't really hear about that when it's black on black. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear about bonds being that high. So I'm glad that they lowered it. But you know, when I first heard about this case, my first question was, why did he have a weapon? I mean, I didn't know. I don't know. I still don't fully know the situation. But I didn't understand why he had a weapon, and was it a kitchen knife? I'm thinking that it was, because I've seen a picture of one, but I'm not sure if it was the actual one that he had. Okay, so one of the videos that caught my attention, the twin brother, they had him right away on the news. I mean, just right away. He got to be in shock. His brother passed away in his arms. And immediately they wanted to give their version of the story. And so people are also drawing their own conclusions. So let me pull up this video. Let's go here.
And what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. And he's like, make me move. Austin grabbed his backpack. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. And this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I never knew who he was.
So one of the things that's different there in the first video, he's saying that they told him to move. They told him to get from under the tent. And then the next one, he said that he sat down and he said something inappropriate or something to him. So let's listen for that.
And what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, This kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life, never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. And this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life, never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for.
And what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track.
Okay, so y'all could hear that. The first time he said they told him to move. So I mean, they told him to move, and then they said he started getting aggressive and saying reckless stuff. But then the next time he said they came back, sat down, and Karmelo started getting saying inappropriate things and uncalled for stuff. So his story changed was what I'm pointing out. His story literally changed. He went from the aggressor, because if y'all come walking over there and you just tell him to move, that means you started it. But if you come back and you sitting down and then he just starts saying inappropriate things, then I mean he started it. So which one do we believe? Reckless, more like defending himself. Yeah, I mean, hey, it is a such thing. He done changed his story 3 times. Wow. Okay, so we gonna listen to a little bit of that. I just want to gain understanding of what's going on. White boy and his thug friends tried to jump the black kid and got dealt with. What's the problem? Wow. So I've heard that. I heard that his brother, the 2 twins, was about to jump him, and somebody said that he was in a nut. The twins actually wasn't even under the tent that he was under at first. And they came right over there and told him pretty much he don't belong there. So that's some of the stuff that I'm hearing. But then to hear that the judge is being threatened and all that, yes, we back, BFF. The judge, we right back. Yeah, what's up with the judge being threatened though? That's a bit much. That's doing way too much. And I'm gonna see if I can find something on that. So I want to pull up a couple of the interviews that they did. I'm gonna pull up his lawyers and the release video. See what else they talking about here. Welcome in, Miss Tracy. Welcome back over here. Oh, shoot. Wait a minute, y'all. Shoot. Gotta uncover this. Oh, I ain't even got it put up. Never mind. Hold on, y'all.
Explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense?
Excuse me.
No, you can say.
I noticed too that they one of the things that stuck out is that they usually black out license plate numbers and all of that kind of stuff when it's on the news, and they didn't on this one.
We're up.
Karmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say? Anything that you'd like to say to the victims, the family of the victim? Why were you armed? Karmelo, why were you armed at school? Explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense?
Excuse me.
No, you can say.
I had to browse.
Okay, so y'all see what happened there. And so they're saying that Anthony had been in the Collin County. He had been in the Collin County jail since his April 2nd arrest for allegedly jabbing a 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a Frisco ISD track meet. So according to witness statements, Anthony and Metcalf were involved in a verbal dispute. At one point, Anthony put out the jab and jabbed Metcalf once in the chest. Anthony complied with the officers. Come over here. Okay. So Anthony complied with the officers at the scene and was taken into custody. While in a police vehicle, Anthony reportedly asked the officer if Metcalf was okay and if what he did would be considered self-defense. He definitely should have remained silent and said nothing. Conditions of release: Anthony will be required to wear ankle monitor and to stay inside his parents' home under adult supervision with an approved adult. He is also not allowed on social media and cannot engage with his classmates or any related to the school. He will have to check in with the courts every Friday. All right. So let's go to what his lawyer has to say. And I'm thinking, did they change lawyers? Did he have one lawyer and they switched?
Self-defense is a protection that applies to each and every one of us. There are two sides to every story. And Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid and an excellent student. He is the captain of his track team. He is the captain of his football team. And prior to this, what was on his mind was what college he was going to go to. This is a tragedy all the way around for both families. Rushing to judgment, trial by public perception and trial by media is not how we ensure justice is done. We are confident that after a full investigation, that the truth will come out. Thank you.
Mike, you took umbrage with the state's assessment that this was simple and brutal. Why so?
Well, the fact of the matter is, like I said, there's two sides to every story, and we've only heard one side. In any criminal case, the police investigate, and the defense is always far behind that. And so it is a one-sided investigation to this point, and even that investigation is still ongoing.
Yeah,
so
please smack the thumbs
that
up.
It happened this way or that way is just not accurate at this point. All of the facts are going to come out, and that's why our system of justice requires that we keep our minds open and we let the facts come out as they are after a full investigation.
Is your client going to be able to make bond and get out today?
I anticipate that he will be able to make bond. I can't speak to how quickly that will go. Funds, in the funds that have been raised are not quick to come out. And then, there's obviously a process to the release process once bond is posted.
The big question that a lot of people have is, why was this young man armed on school property?
That's an understandable question, but it's not something that, frankly, we're prepared to even go into. This is something that I know the police and the prosecution want to get it right and want to have a full and fair investigation, and so do we. So it would be irresponsible for me or them at this point to start saying, this is what happened, this is why, anything. So I understand that's a big question. It's going to be a big question, and it's something that we will find out. And we ask that the public, as hard as it is, withhold judgment and let both of these families have justice. That let both of these young men, the Metcalf family and the memory of who they've lost, but also Karmelo, have a fair and full justice process.
How has he? How your feeling on the reduction of this bond? You feel it's fair?
Yeah, I feel it's fair. Bond, as the judge said, is not supposed to be an instrument of oppression. It's not supposed to keep people in jail. It's not supposed to punish. It's supposed to ensure that a person shows up to court, complies with all conditions, and it's supposed to keep the community safe. So this is a large and substantial bond, and the judge has, I think, rightly imposed
Welcome in, D-Man 9.
reasonable conditions that will ensure both Karmelo and the Anthony family's safety, but also the safety of the community.
What was Carmelo's reaction today? He didn't seem very talkative toward you. And how has jail, I guess, been so far for this teenager? And is he on suicide watch or anything like that?
I honestly can't speak to Karmelo's reaction because I was so focused on the hearing and
Welcome
what was
in,
going on and what
Charlene.
the judge was saying. I think we have to all remember Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid who's never been in any sort of trouble before. If you can just put yourself in his shoes, this is a scary, bewildering process. And I can't even imagine what was going through his head, just as I'm sure
He guilty.
I can't
Why? Because
imagine
he
what was
black?
going through the heads of the Metcalf
Get out of
family.
here with that.
This is something that is new to all of them and incredibly trying.
So for people who want to know, why were you selected? I mean, what is your experience? I mean, you had to be really good.
I can't speak as to why I was selected. In any case, it's important to have an attorney that you connect with, that you feel has the right amount of experience and the right investment in the case. And I'm not speaking to anybody else. I just know that that's important in any case.
Nope, I haven't.
How does this family feel? You mentioned it multiple times.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to speak for them at this point, but I think you can imagine the press coverage on this case has been immense, and the online and public reaction has been immense. And unfortunately, as is common in our culture, especially lately, the vitriol and the public reaction one way or the other has been intense. And threats and talk of race war and all kinds of insanity isn't good for, obviously, the Anthony family. It's not good for the Metcalf family. It's not good for the peace and safety of our community. So I would ask, and I know both sides would ask, that
Shout out to
the
Chocolate
temperature
313.
on this be allowed to come down. That the media, you guys have a job to do, and I understand that everyone does, but at the same time, we just ask everyone in the public and everywhere to let this process play out fairly and fully for both sides. Okay, thank you guys.
Okay, so what I had heard, a witness came forward and said that it wasn't at the school. It was down from the school. So I'm not sure about that yet. And no, I haven't heard what the reporters are saying. This is my first time looking at this case. And so I haven't looked at a lot of stuff. I just hear it's a lot of racial tension. And right away, the self-defense thing don't usually seldom works for us. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, so I don't know. I don't know why he had the jab. I don't know if he was into it with these guys prior. I heard the twin say that he didn't know him, but I also heard him say two different stories. The sad part is they were teenagers, 17 years old, lost their life. I don't know if these twins was known to bully or be racist. I don't know. I haven't looked at any of their social medias or anything like that. I'm just solely going off of what we listening to right now.
Well, Jeff, I just take me through, as far as the events of this morning. What happened? How did you get the call? How did you figure out what happened to your son?
Well, it started with a call from his football coach who was not at the track meet and said, I think Austin has been stabbed. And I said, where at? And he said, Kukendall Stadium. I said, I'm on my way. So I drove up there, went through a load of police officers, and was able to see my son on the gurney with a huge hole and blood all over him. And they were pumping him. He wasn't breathing. And his eyes were rolled back in his head. So I had to find his brother. They're twins. And so I found Hunter and tried to get him under control as best we could. And then I loaded him up in my car and we drove to the hospital as quickly as possible. And we waited. And when the doctors came in and said that he didn't make it, it was tough. My son took it extremely hard. Mm-hmm. I'm still in shock, to be honest. I mean, I'm numb. So it really hasn't hit me. And I don't believe any parent should ever have to bury their child. And I pray that, maybe there's changes made as far as security or things like that. And maybe we can learn from this and try to turn a tragedy into something positive to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else's child. I don't want parents to feel like.
So I do remember somebody said, so when y'all put certain words in your comment, I can't put it up, and the jab is one of them, and the race and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, he said, touch me and see what happens with a jab in his bag. That's called intent to use the force or whatever. Okay. So the first thing I heard them say is that the twins say is when they came over there, they walked over there and they told him to move. Okay, so that would mean that they walked up to him with aggression, telling him what to do. That came from the twin. Matter of fact, let me play that. And so things escalate really quick when somebody walk up to you already aggressive and telling you what to do. So that's already out of line out the gate. You see what I'm saying? You walk up coming from somewhere else and you just walk up to this kid and tell him to move. Why did they pick him? Why did they want him to move? It was pouring down raining and he was finding a safe place to be is what I'm hearing. He was on his phone, so he wasn't provoking anybody. He didn't provoke anybody. He didn't say anything to them. They said something to him. And then witnesses said that they both was approaching him to jump on him. They both start grabbing him is what is being said. I don't know what none of us there. And it's definitely going to take, I did hear that they have videos. Because that was one of the things people was like, whoa, ain't nobody leaked no video or nothing. Like, people was out there recording. So he said, touch me and see what happened. Maybe because they came up aggressive and act like they was about to touch him. And he warned them, don't do it. Because he must have felt like they were going to touch him. Now, let's play that. Because he changed the story, and we need to know, why did he change his story? Why did the twin change his story from what he said the first time?
And what happened? There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless, and my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. And he's like, make me move. Austin grabbed his backpack and come back.
Now, you did hear what he said first. They came over to him and told him to move, and he told them to make me move. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that mean they came over. They didn't come over there like, hey, buddy, how do you say in a nice way to tell somebody that you don't belong here and get from under here? So he just said that. They walked up, told him to move, and then he's saying that he got aggressive. But I mean, he starts saying stuff. Yeah, if somebody walk over to me, I'm minding my own damn business, and you just come from out of nowhere and tell me to move. You don't belong here, and get from out of our tent, and you aggressive, and it's two of y'all in my face. Yeah, I'ma feel threatened. I am. But let's listen again, because the second time he changed the story.
And what happened?
Pay attention.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life, never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. And this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life, never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And what happened? There was.
So I just want to point out, when stories change, that means it's a lie. The truth don't change. When something happens and you tell the story, when it's the truth, you don't change it. So it did change, and I'm trying to figure out why. Why? It sounds like they were the aggressor just from what he said. Okay, so this is where we at right now. Now let's listen at what the dad is saying.
I feel today. So I've already forgiven the person who stabbed him. God's going to take care of everything.
Trigger warning. And I feel bad for all parties involved. I really do. They were kids. It shouldn't have never happened. But man, it did, and we here right now.
I was taking care of my son. I kissed him. When I kissed him goodbye for the last time, I told him it's not goodbye. It's see you later. So I just have to trust in God and my faith to pull us through. I don't understand his plan. We're all subject to trial and tribulations. God didn't say life was going to be fair or wasn't going to be hard, but he said he'll always be beside you and never leave your side. So we're going to lean deep into our faith. There's a vigil tonight at our church at 7 o'clock. I will be attending also. The outpouring of students and coaches and friends and family that showed up at the hospital immediately. It was just shows the way my son touched people's lives. He was voted team MVP of the football team this year. He carried a 4.0. He was on National Honor Society. He's ranked in the top 50 of the state in his position. He's having D1 colleges contact him. He had a great life ahead of him. And to be taken away, it's such a tragedy. I mean, I can't even tell you how I feel because I don't know how I feel. I feel numb at the moment. Yeah. I just hope that this doesn't happen to any other parent and their child. But I do hope for justice. Because this is unacceptable.
And the fact that, someone was immediately taken
Please hit
into
the thumbs
custody,
up, yeah.
They know who did this. They are charging him with murder. I mean, how does that make you feel that police immediately got this person?
First of all, I feel sorry for that individual because he's now made a mistake that's going to cost him the rest of his life. The hard part that cost me is I lost my son, and his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
Yeah, please get the thumbs up. It's 60 people watching with 24 thumbs up. Please get the thumbs up. Chocolate said, "I don't give a F. I feel sorry for Karmelo." Man, there's so much. I know. So y'all definitely know more than I do right now about the case. I think they were trying to SA him and he defended himself. So right now we only heard one side of the story. We don't know Karmelo's side of the story. Reach the dad. He has SA charges from 2011. What? Wow, I definitely ain't get that far. What? I did hear that the parents are not together anymore, but Carmelo's parents are together. They've been married between 14, 17 years or something like that. He was so weak. His big ass got hit once. Ooh, chocolate. Now, I did hear. Now, one of the things that I was noticing, the pictures that they were showing, they were showing pictures that didn't meet what I found out. They was like 200 some pounds or something. Karmelo was 130 or something like that. So they was way bigger is what I heard. But that's nothing that I researched myself. I don't know. But let's see. I got a couple pictures here. There was some pictures in that too. That's him when he first got home. So these are them. Now I don't know, like right here. These are old pictures because I heard that they was like 200 pounds or something. I don't know. I don't know what their current status was. But I do wonder if he has some issues with some people before that made him even start carrying a weapon. I don't know none of that. I don't know if they have fallouts, if he has something going on with these people, or if this was the first time. But is people are saying that they was bullies. I don't know if that's true. So we just gonna listen and see what we figure out from here.
I need a break.
Oh.
So concerned about my son. They were twins, identical. They had each other's back. They had that bond.
Yeah, that only twins know.
Yeah. Just tell me, Dad, I can't make it. I can't make it without him. I said, we're gonna have to, bro. We're gonna have to. He would want us to be strong.
Can you tell me a little bit more about Austin, about his personality?
Austin was a leader. Austin he led the football team. He was voted team MVP by his players and coaches.
What was his position?
He played linebacker. Him and his brother both play linebacker. He played inside. His brother plays outside. We were so fortunate this past weekend that me, Hunter, and Austin, we grew up hunting together, and we had matter of fact, the ranch we own.
So somebody said they were in the right to ask them to move. How? Was it their tent? Did they pay for it? I'm just confused. Like I heard that they were coming from a whole nother area. They wasn't even under the tent and they went straight to him. And it was pouring down raining. I mean, I'm not understanding why it was such a big deal that he needed to get out of the tent. I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at this, it is pointless. It's a stupid reason to not be here right now. But you can't just put your hands on nobody either. That's just like if you in public and a stranger just decide to grab you. And I mean, you don't know this person or what they gonna do. You're on bleachers too. Like, I'm on bleachers. They were on bleachers, right? So somebody could push you. You could fall down. You could really hurt yourself. That's a horrible position to be in. The worst place to be fighting on is on some dang on bleachers. You could fall and break your neck, never walk again or live again. Like, that's a dangerous situation. I don't know enough yet, though. Let's see. Get to
the lease was not renewed, so
I guess we ain't gonna get to Karmelo's side of the story, but I am gonna go to a video where there was a witness that was there. So I'm gonna go to that because he said that it was not at the school, it was miles away from the school, and it was a meet that had different schools there.
Never hunt there again. And we went there for the last weekend. And he said, Dad, I've never shot a pig before. I want to get a pig this weekend. I said, okay. Lord and behold,
and the other part
heck of a story. But He shot his first pig this weekend.
The other part too, y'all. They asked him. If they asked him, then it probably wouldn't have got aggressive. They probably told him to get the F from up under here. You know, I would love to know what really happened. Because we listening at a twin brother that's 17 years old and in shock still. He just lost the closest person to him. Literally. He just lost the closest person to him, and he's on here doing interviews and switching up his story. Who knows what the real story is right now? People just choose to pick sides, and there's a lot of that going on. People don't even need the evidence to pick a side. They don't care. They just go off of whatever they feel.
We all talked, me, him, and Hunter both. We all talked about these are memories that you take forever. After I'm gone, you can tell your kids.
I want to know, how is anybody any different? That if it's true that this judge is being threatened, that's ridiculous. Now we talking about something else now. Talk about bullies.
About, well, your grandfather and I, we were hunting and we stalked and it took 2 hours, but we got this. I got my first pig and he was so excited. And I'm so fortunate to be able to spend that weekend, not knowing it was the last weekend I'll ever spend with him.
Did Karmelo's family talk?
Also was, football was his pride and joy. He was working on track to increase his speed. Matter of fact, he's already dropped this 40 times. He was telling me about how he's dropped it. He's going to drop it some more. And he was an amazing, dedicated athlete. And by the outpouring of his friends and family that showed up immediately at the hospital, goes to show how he impacted other people's lives.
And what did that mean to you to know that your son did that?
Well, for me, I was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago, and I was not supposed to live. And God blessed me because he knew I needed to be a father for these two boys. My two boys is what my life lived. I lived my life for my children. That was my why to keep fighting, and I'm cancer free. So God had a plan for me. So I was able to watch and be blessed so much. But having both my sons are amazing. My other son is just crushed, and I feel for him now, and he'll never be the same. None of us will. Grief, we all go through it, but the thing about grief is you don't get over it. You just learn to live with it. So, I don't have a choice other than to carry on. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure Austin's never forgotten. I'm sure he won't be. He's touched a lot of people's lives. He was a great individual, a leader, an athlete, very smart, 4.0. I couldn't ask for a better son. Two of them. I couldn't ask. They were my whole life. And for it to be taken away so senselessly, when this guy was just sitting in Ron's spot and they asked him to move, and he winds up stabbing my son in the heart and killing him.
Trigger warning. So I want to get into some of what the people are saying because I don't know a lot about this case right now. But so I'm seeing all kind of stuff. So one person says self-defense was understood when it was Zimmerman. Self-defense was understood when it was Goats. Self-defense was understood when it was Kyle Rittenhouse. But Karmelo Anthony brings confusion for the people. Oh, I get it. Only white men / boys can defend themselves. It's violent otherwise. What do y'all say about that? Then we got somebody that said people out here asking why Karmelo Anthony had a jab, but had no problem with 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse having an AR-15. And I was actually watching those protests and all of that stuff when all of that stuff was going on, and that was wild. But he had a hell of a fundraiser too, and I don't know where the funds was being raised at, but I do know that it didn't get shut down. And then somebody is talking about the judge saying Austin Metcalf admitted unaliver Karmelo Anthony was just let out of jail because of a DEI judge named Angela Tucker. And then accusing her of being an anti-white two-tier justice need to be get out of here. That bullshit. Seriously.
And when they look at me, now when we can have, summer interns come up and they are every race, creed, color, gender, but they can see someone that looks like them on the bench. I think that is so beneficial because it's representation. And when they look at me, young kids, law students, whoever it is, I want them to say, if she can do it, I can do it too.
This is the judge, and that was what they posted about her. People just racist as hell. And the law definitely don't work. We already know it's a difference in how the law work. We know this. Karmelo, somebody said Karmelo is an exceptional, upstanding, suburban young teen boy. He is an honor roll student. He works an honest job, and he's a hero. And we allowed them to paint this teenage boy as some thug or restless young YN. We failed, and no black boy in America is safe. And so they got different pictures of him. Bystander saved child from drowning in a pool. Whoa, wait a minute. I see Karmelo right here. But I ain't got time to read that right now. But they got hold on. They showing a picture of him working at Foot Locker and stuff like that. Which I had that picture. Let me pull that back up. And let me see what y'all saying. This is crazy, man. But I am shocked that no recordings have come out. None have been leaked. I guess. Let's see. Zimmerman was beat to a pulp. Rittenhouse was attacked and beat. What? What are we talking about? When? When, Nate? Here we go with the racism. This is what's happening. This is what the world is. I don't know if you've been seeing all of this stuff happening in the world. This is all that they're talking about. It instantly turns into this. Instantly. What they saying? Hold on. Oh, they just scrolling. Yep. I mean, let me let this dad keep talking.
It's unfortunate, but he's gonna have to answer to those consequences. And I hope justice is served.
Yeah. Is that and I know Hunter probably everything happened so quickly. I mean, is that what he kind of told you what happened? That, I mean, did you know Austin to have any enemies? Did Austin know this person?
No, they have no contact with this person ever before. I can tell you what happened. I know firsthand. I wasn't there, but I talked to my son. Yeah, everything. I know exactly how it all transpired. It was multi-Frisco High School track meet. Many high schools were there. It started to rain, and they have their own little tent for memorial, and they were sitting there, and someone was behind them mouthing off, and he turned around and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Mello." He said, "Well, you don't belong here. You don't go to memorial." He had a Centennial tracksuit on, and he said, "You need to leave. This ain't your spot." And some words were discussed. I'm not going to say on camera
thank you, BFF. And get these dumbasses up out of here.
And then he wound up stabbing him in the heart.
Racist piece of shit. You want to accuse now? Let's go back to, because I was reading a dumbass comment. Y'all want to talk about racism? Y'all see this chat? That's where it's at, right there. People like them. Stupid ass.
He asked him to leave and basically said, "Make me." And I'm not going to say on camera he asked him to leave and basically said, "Make me."
Oh, a couple words. Who used the word?
Disgust. I'm not going to say on.
Who word?
And he said, "I'm Mello." He said, "Well, you don't belong."
God dang it! I'm gonna get this right in a minute.
I know firsthand. I wasn't there, but I talked to my son.
Yeah, what is
And everything, I know exactly how it all transpired. It was multi-Frisco High School track meet. Many high schools were there. It started to rain, and they have their own little tent for memorial, and they were sitting there. And someone was behind them mouthing off, and he turned around and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Mello."
Nope. So y'all, I just wanted to hear what the dad said. Now that was the second story that his son told. I don't know if this stupid person, hold on. Scarface, get your dumb ass out my chat. Shout out to T Beezy. Welcome in. I don't like stupid shit. Like, seriously. Yeah, so that story that the father literally just told is not what his son said at first. I'm gonna let him say it again.
High School track meet. Many high schools were there. It started to rain, and they have their own little tent for memorial, and they were sitting there. And someone was behind them mouthing off, and he turned around and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Mello." He said, "Well, you don't belong here. You don't go to memorial." He had a Centennial tracksuit on. And he said, "You need to leave. This ain't your spot." And some words were discussed. I'm not going to say on camera but he asked him to leave and basically said, "Make me." And then he wound up stabbing him in the heart and killing him.
That it sounds like some missing pieces. So somebody was behind them mouthing off. Like what was Karmelo? What would Karmelo have to mouth off for? They said he was sitting there holding his phone. He was just trying to get out the rain, and that ain't what the son said the first time.
And what happened? There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking.
Okay, so what right did they have to ask him to move? They not the adults in the situation. Whose tent was it? Did they bring the tent? So anyway, we heard what the father said, and we heard what his son said, which is different than what he said. And then he changed his story in a different broadcast. So you can't unring a bell. I'm just saying.
All over someone sitting in the wrong spot at a track meet.
Yeah, why did they have to say anything to him? The son said that they came over there and they told him to move. And he started mouthing or saying other stuff. Well, yeah, why y'all talking to him? Leave him. I mean, come on, man. It was stupid. And it didn't have to happen if they would have just not said anything to him. Maybe go get a coach, go get a teacher, go get somebody if it bothers you that much. So they approached him, right? That's what we're hearing. That's what the son said.
Now, I don't blame his parents. I don't blame him. But they all will suffer too. I feel for their family because now their son will probably wind up in prison and learn that he killed someone. And he devastated and took my son that I can never get back. It's unfortunate for everyone involved. And
I want to hear what he's saying here, because this the full interview. What he say really matter.
It's a terrifying, gut-wrenching, incomprehensible scene in Frisco, Texas, just 20 miles north of where I sit here today. A high school track meet yesterday turned deadly. 17-year-old football star Austin Metcalf was stabbed in the heart and left to die in his twin brother's arms after a fight broke out yesterday. The suspect was allegedly told he was sitting in the wrong seat in the stands of the stadium before drawing a knife and attacking Austin. Police have yet to reveal what led up to that moment, but we do know the other student has been charged with murder. Joining me now is Austin's mother, Megan Metcalf, and his twin brother, Hunter. Megan, Hunter, thank you for being with me today. I can't imagine how difficult of a day, and I have to start with how sorry I am of what you're going through this morning, this afternoon. I think I'd like to just start. I'd love to just start with tell me about Hunter. If you could, Megan, tell me about your son.
I think I can speak for her for a little bit, see if she just calms down just a little bit. But as me, I know I'm a little more, spontaneous. I like to do stuff all around and just get out of line sometimes. And, Austin's always was there to check on me and keep me straight so I wouldn't be in trouble and do anything like that.
Hunter and Megan, whenever you feel ready, jump into the conversation. If you never feel ready, that's completely understandable to me and everybody else watching. Hunter, thanks so much for being able to do this today. Just a little more about your brother, Austin. From what I understand, I think he has it in his social media bio, 3.96 GPA student, certainly definitely into football. And it looked, when I was looking into him last night, he was very interested in being recruited to play football in college.
Yes, sir. He was very highly recruited, just like coming out of his junior year. He's had a really great year, and everyone on the team, coaches, everyone knew around the area just knew that he was about to do big things in football. And besides his GPA, man, that dude was extremely smart, always in the books. He just came to him real easy, and just him playing with football as well just made him.
Wait, hold on. So BFF is talking about, he said, what I like to get out of line. Yeah, he basically saying that his brother was the one that calmed him down. So he the one that's usually get out of control. But is that the part you're talking about, BFF?
Just a great person overall.
Megan, we'll try this again, both of us, and we'll see how far we get. When I read your story last night, obviously this is not about me. I have a 17-year-old son. I live 20 miles south of you. My son's in Frisco every night playing soccer, and we have a lot of friends of friends who knew Austin. So the circles got tight, and this hit really close to home. And I'm just so sorry for you. Can you explain us at all today how you feel? It's just got to be so. The word I keep coming back to, Megan.
Can y'all please get the thumbs up? We got 39 thumbs up, 60 people in the building. President Trump is our lifeline. Lifetime. Yes, bullying. Yeah, everyone needs weapons at track meets. Yeah, that's why I wonder if it was some issues prior to that. Yeah, I would love to know if they knew each other or not. The twins jumped. Karmelo says eyewitness at the track meet. Oh, can you send that to me? Oh, Chris. If you can find that, TBZ, can you send it to me? Or was it was a guy? Let me find that witness statement that came out. Let me let this play.
Is incomprehensible. How could this happen at a track meet?
It is. She just took my son is gone, and I don't really have words. I've tried to figure out what I was going to say, but he's just going to be so missed by mostly our family, but this whole community has really wrapped their arms around us. And if I could say anything to the nation, I would say to make sure that you just hug your babies tight, because you don't know when the last time you get to do it.
Hunter, I know you were there. Thank you, Megan. Take your time. Hunter, I know you were there when it happened. What can you tell us about what happened at that track meet? How could this thing that seems like is not on the menu of possibilities could happen? Again, I was at a track meet, by the way, on Tuesday. This is not something you think could ever happen. How did it happen?
So it was a really bad storm in the morning, and they had a lot of delays. And me, my brother, a couple of kids were walking back from the field house of the middle school, because we attended that middle school when we went to middle school, and we were saying hello to old coaches and catching up with them. And then we're walking back to our stand. We put our tent up so all the bleachers were right there, were not wet from all the rain. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate, and come back, we sit down, our stand. We put our tent up so, and me, my brother, a couple of kids were walking back from the field house of the middle school, because we attended that middle school when we went to middle school, and we were saying.
So me, my brother, a couple kids, they was walking back from a different area.
Hello to old coaches and catching up with them. And then we're walking back to our stand. We put our tent up so all the bleachers were right there were not wet from all the rain. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life, never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. My brother stepped in. He started being, how he always is with me, just brothers, just having my back. And things started getting more higher intensity. And the kid said some aggressive stuff, reckless stuff, and also try to handle the problem. And
okay, I mean, he just said a group of other boys was walking over there, and they all together, and then they get to talking to him. They say something to him first because they don't want him over there, so they started it, and he's feeling threatened because he outnumbered. Do that make sense to everybody that don't know what self-defense is? Because I'm getting that. It's still unfortunate to me, right? It's still, because they teenagers. I wish it wouldn't have happened, but this is where we at. They approached him. Now, one thing I do know in self-defense, you can't start it and then be like self-defense. No, it don't sound like he started. It sound like he was defending himself. Just from what he just said. But it's different than what he said the first time. Or in the other interview. I don't know. I don't know which interview happened first.
Always wanted to step up. He always was wanting to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is because they have personal items there. A
lot of stuff gets stolen, just like that, just precautions and stuff. And our coaches always told us, don't let, other schools, mess with our stuff. Just sit around.
Where was the coaches at? Where was the coaches? That's crazy. So they came right over there and told them to get out. You ain't supposed to be here. It's raining. They didn't give a damn. Just get out.
Our tent area. And we set that up for the girls' track every meet we had. So it's just he knew he wasn't supposed to be there. He was just a tragedy what happened.
And then what happened, Austin? After your brother stepped up, what happened then?
He stepped up over there, asked him to move, got aggressive. He grabbed the bag, and then I whipped my head around, and then all of a sudden I see him running down the bleachers, grabbing his chest, and just blood rushing out. He said, he got stabbed. He got stabbed. First, I froze for half a second. I didn't know what to do. And then I saw him about to fall. I went to go over there. I grabbed him. I see
this stuff.
Yeah. I understand. Best I can to understand.
Yeah, there was. You can see, you can picture what happened when what was coming out of his chest, and y'all can visualize this. I don't want to put down my mom right now, but I pushed my hand on there, trying to make it stop, and I grabbed his head and I looked in his eyes. I just saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to ask you one last question. I've seen interviews with your husband.
It never should have happened, man.
Who I can hear in the side.
But they definitely, once he said, don't put your hands on me, I'm going to show you or whatever, that lets you know that it was an argument when all of that stuff happened. I don't know if they did say, the witness did say that he got grabbed. So at that point, he was defending himself is what it sounded like to me. Let me see what y'all saying. It's a devastating experience, especially hearing them tell the story. And they got on there immediately. I mean, didn't they say this happened yesterday? Like, at this point, this is right after. George Floyd case was self-defense. Bro was on drugs. Yeah, but that didn't have nothing. That we know how that ended up. The person that unalived him is fighting for his life in prison. So, and they trying to get him out. But yeah, this is a heavy story. How many minutes we got? Okay, we can finish this.
By the way, I think he's there in the room with you. I saw an interview last night. Okay, someone else. Yes, okay.
Yes, sir.
But I have seen interviews with your husband in the last 24 hours, and it was remarkable to me that I heard your husband say within hours of this that he forgave this other young man, and he got there so quickly. And I honestly don't know that I could. And I just want to see.
Wait a minute now. Hold on. Now, the man we was just listening to talk, they not married, right? Is this the part where, let me see what y'all saying. Because I'm looking at their facial expressions and how they kind of, is the guy wrong in saying her husband, or is that the father? And I heard they wasn't together no more. And they looking weird when he calling him her husband. So did they not want to say that they wasn't together, or what? It's something weird about that. Let's go back.
Heard your husband say within hours of this that he forgave this other young man, and he got there so quickly. And I honestly don't know that I could. And I just want to see, and I don't know if there's a right or a wrong place to be, especially as quickly as this has happened. Megan, how do you feel on that front today?
I am not like their dad. I am so angry at that boy. It's just not fair. That's all I have.
I'm angry at that boy.
I understand.
I'd like to say it's forgave, not forgotten, but I'm not at that point yet to forgive that kid for what he did to my brother. Because, 17 years, my best friend, just there in the blink of an eye, I lost him. So I'm not at that point to forgive and forget, but eventually I will. But
Is the mother and father still together? Let me know. Because if they not together, why didn't she correct him? Rory, I mean, to say black people do it to you, is black people the only one that get unalived or have any issues in the world? Get out of my chat with that bullshit. Everybody have problems. I don't care what race you are. But the ones that they show the most is black. But it happens everywhere. Everybody have issues. Get the hell out of here. Y'all funny with that crap. You that mad,
I pray for his family. I pray that they understand what we're going through as well. I just pray for everybody.
I totally understand where both of you sit today on that front. I don't know that I could either.
Hell out of here, man.
That's why I found it remarkable when I heard that from your husband.
Husband again.
Everyone has to go through this.
That ain't their husband. Look how they both looking.
I just pray that God goes through this with you both and your husband and the rest.
He didn't call them. Is it her husband or not? Tell me, y'all. Let me know.
To your family. And I really appreciate you sharing this story with me and the rest of the nation. Megan, Hunter, thank you. Our prayers remain with you.
Is it better that they called husband and wife? That just seemed odd to me. They looking kind of weird. Exactly. Innocent until proven guilty. But we know how it all works. You guilty until you prove yourself innocent. Exactly. White on white crime. Like, get out of here. Y'all ridiculous. But I love when they want to say that we playing the race card. Ain't no damn race card. It's racism in this world, period. And you one of them. You the problem.
Just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore. And I don't understand it.
Now I want to go to what her son said on this one.
Just tell me about what happened today.
She wasn't.
I don't know. I got a phone call.
Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's great. We just got a little altercation.
How tall are they? He's tall as heck.
He's a good kid. We just got a little altercation. And that's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's a great kid. He just one mistake from that dude and just took my brother. Just he didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just didn't know it's gonna be mine so soon. My best friend and my brother my whole life, but if y'all could just not y'all, sorry. Just thank y'all for just comforting us, and the Frisco area has been comforting my family and me, and I just really appreciate everything that everyone's done. It's a really hard loss, but we're gonna get through it with my family, so we'll just stay together. I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do the yard work together, sports, you name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just basically one person.
You guys just a few minutes
We need to get that
4
audio
minutes.
together. God dang.
Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically, you're bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what. So it's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything. Even
Now that's a key word. He said he'd take his side, whether he right or wrong. And I'm sure he would do the same thing for his brother.
by your side no matter what, just pass away like that.
Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid, real strong. And I know I'm strong too, but he's a little stronger. But he did a lot for our family and a bunch of stuff that we just don't recognize. And it's just like, especially throughout our friends too, like everyone knew, like he was the peacemaker. So I'm saying, like, heard someone who really makes peace, really calms peace down. He makes everything sail smoothly. And because I get upset, but then he calms me down. He was just always there for me. So it's just really heartbreaking to see like how this happened.
Oh my goodness. And you guys are
17.
Yeah, they'll be 18 in July.
I saw a lot of articles say you guys were 16 when each one.
Yeah, they're 17.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Austin wanted to play football.
He would have played college football.
He would have.
For
sure.
He definitely used his mindset, his skill level, his IQ. The game was probably the best I've seen in the Frisco area.
Yeah.
As a linebacker, he was a stud, and I always try to fill those shoes with him and play with him. And I had a blast my whole life playing sports with him. My whole life, it was just me and him always good against people. And our last year together was this year, so it's just really heartbreaking not to see him next year on the field.
I'm so sorry, my love. Oh my goodness. I saw that he won like linebacker of the year
for the Frisco Memorial. He was
second team all district, which he should have been first.
Yeah.
But it's just everyone knows around this area the impacts of what he does for football and what he does for families and friends. Like he's just a great guy overall to be around, and
hard worker.
Extremely. It's just really hard. It's just really hard to see someone go like that just for like recklessness.
My focus of my story is, of course, on Austin. That is what's most important. But what would you say about the suspect and what's next? I don't
know anything about him.
So one thing that I'm looking at is just the coverage that they're getting, the news, the coverage that they're getting. We know that this don't happen like this. Now, they've had so many different interviews and stuff, and they're getting their story out, their story. We've only heard their story. I'm gonna play a witness statement after we get done listening to this, but I definitely want to finish hearing what they said when we start getting numbers on y'all. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Okay, let me hit play.
We have nothing to say.
I've never met this kid until right then. It really was under 30 seconds, this altercation.
Okay, so he's saying that he didn't know him. So I don't know if he knew him or not, but that's what I was wondering, if they know him, if he had issues with him before. I mean, if they have track meets, I'm sure they familiar with each other, right? But they all run track.
I've never met this kid in my entire life. And it's just,
and to be honest with you, we don't want to give him any recognition or any care, because we have no desire to have anything to do with that man. So
if Austin can hear you, what would you say to him?
I'd say that's really hard, but I'd say a lot of things, because I saw him before his last moments, and it was just
how much we loved him. He knew that.
He knew how much I loved him, how much I do for him. I do anything for him.
Yeah.
No matter what. He's called me. I think anything that he needs, I'll do it for him. He's just a great guy. So when you have a great guy, you want people to be around you. They're going to be around you no matter what. Like he's a great leader. That's why I always want to tell him, like, I always wanted to be like him in that sense. It's like how he just communicates and has great ways with people all the time. And I always looked up to him for like that. He wasn't a big brother in a sense, the same age, but he was a big brother than me.
We just want to make sure that everybody knows how much that Austin is going to be still in our lives, as far as in our memories and our hearts forever, you know.
Let me see. Rory went up to Karmelo first, told him to move. Wait, hold on. Told him to move, and then proceeded to take his backpack. And it was more than one going up to him. Exactly. It was a group of them walking towards him in the first place. And these dudes ain't little. I don't know how tall he is, but he's towering over his mother. Breonna Taylor was self-defense, clearly. Rory, you probably should get out of my chat talking about Breonna Taylor was self-defense. I see what team you on. Get the hell out of here with that. Seriously. Self-defense of who? What they did was breaking and entering in Breonna Taylor's home with a fake-ass warrant that they lied to get. Oh, my God. These cases really piss me off, and people like you do, too. Get Rory up out of here, please. Thank you.
It was raining. It got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up under the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity, so I'm watching everything going on around it, because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and whatever. They went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened.
So we're gonna listen at this. This is my friend Introvert Rockstar. He's been covering this case and know a lot more than me, so I want to listen at what he said. This was about 3 days ago.
Yeah, it wasn't just one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, the dude that got unalive, and his brother physically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is at least 5 to 10 miles away. It was community track meet, bro.
5 or 10 miles away. So it wasn't people saying that he brought it to school. Yeah.
It wasn't a school track meet. So he had the right to have a knife on his person, bro.
And look, I'm going to say it again. Rest in peace to that young man, 17 years old. He has so much life to live. But on this channel, we hold racist Caucasian people accountable. And to the good Caucasian people, thank you for understanding and not being evil. And see, it all makes sense. I see why this family was going on every news outlet to tell their side of the story first. But don't worry, we'll get to that audio clip later on in this video. And first of all, it's some things I have to address. Racist Caucasian people, and they love to gaslight black people. And they love to forget, saying things like, oh, this is not about race. Oh, black people are racist. Oh, how can y'all donate $300K to a murderer? Well, on my channel, it's my job to remind you. Run the tape.
In a 2-hour taped confession with FBI agents, Roof explained why he chose Charleston's historic Emmanuel AME Church.
Is that why you chose that church? Oh, yes. Because you were looking for African Americans. Right. I wasn't going to go to another church, because there couldn't have been white people there. Had you thought about going, hey, I get some more bullets and go shoot some more people? Oh, I was worn out. There's no way.
In Roof's car, law enforcement also recovered American and Confederate flags, empty ammunition boxes, and a firearm along with a laser sight attachment.
What kind of gun did you use? A Glock 45.
And notice how he laughed. Now this is and I forgot about this guy, but this is the one that they took to McDonald's after unaliving all them black folks in that church. Didn't nobody seem to have a big problem with that? And so it's just sad that you have to remind folks of these type of events. But I mean, notice how, to me, they seemed a little intrigued, and he found that it was funny explaining it. Well,
Roof allegedly bought that weapon at Shooter's Choice in West Columbia, South Carolina. The gun store's manager testified in court on Monday that Roof cleared the requirement.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. I mean, I'm definitely not I don't condone this type of stuff at all. I actually don't like it, right? I don't like the racist bullshit that happens here. I mean, everybody is making it about that. Well, a lot of people are. I don't know if this is really what type of people they were or not. I mean, I haven't looked on their social media to see how they talking about the opposites. So, but this right here, the world is making it about that, even if they not. But we got to look at facts here.
A 3-day federal background check to receive the handgun. He says Roof bought it and 5 magazines on April 16th, 2015, nearly 2 months before the shooting.
Are you glad you did it? Well, I wouldn't say I'm glad I did it, but I've done it. So. You said it was something you had to do? Yeah, I had to do it.
The Shooter's Choice gun store was ultimately notified by the federal government not to sell a gun to Roof because of a previous drug arrest, but that notification came 12 days after the shootings. Nora, the government should wrap up its case this week.
All right. And guess what happened when police finally arrested Dylan Roof? They took him to Burger King after unaliving 9 innocent people. They drove him right after. They drove him to Burger King. Make that make sense. But this really the cold part. Check this out. On June 25th, 2015, the website Newswatch 33 published an article titled Charleston Church Shooter Dylan Roof receives $4 million in donations from supporters. According to that article, a group called Citizens for White Rights somehow managed to quietly drum up the exorbitant sum of $4 million in donations for an accused racially motivated mass shooter in just over a week.
Wow. And do you think they shut that down?
Without any other media outlets taking notice. And again, the same people calling us racist.
And these are the same, I'm sure the same people that donated to that on the Citizen or whatever app they did it on. I'm sure that they was part of the ones calling GoFundMe or whoever to get that shut down. And so I don't know, man. I don't know if the family was able to get any money out of that GoFundMe, but I'm hearing that they shut it down.
Donated $4 million in just a week to a person that unalived 9 innocent people. Make it make sense. And look, he wasn't the only one. There's more. Check this out. Daniel Penny raises over $2.9 million in the...
Now we know Daniel Penny just happened. They raised over $2.9 million in donations for legal defense for the subway unaliving of the guy. We just talked about this a couple months ago. So the man who was being charged with the subway choking that caused the homeless man, Jordan Neely, unaliving, publicly raised money. Nobody had a problem with that, but all the racist people came out and showed themselves. You know, when that was going on, they was rooting that on. Oh, and then when the subway thing happened with the lady that got set ablaze, we need a Daniel Penny in that. Well, yeah, you probably did in a case like that. This is crazy, man. Let's see.
Defense. And see, I love breaking this shit down because people act like they forgot. But now on this channel, partner, we gonna use our platform.
I'm gonna drop his link too, because he following this big time. This stuff be pissing me off.
Now let's get back to that audio clip.
Seriously.
Matter of fact, run the tape again.
It was raining. They got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they
got two
all
GoFundMes.
extra wet.
They got two GoFundMes for Karmelo. I heard they got them shut down, but I don't know. I don't know how true that is. I haven't seen a GoFundMe or nothing. It's another one that is give, send, go for Karmelo donations. I said Carmela. I mean Karmelo. Thanks, Miss V. I'm now going to follow this case. Oh, shout out to Point Blank Travels. Man, listen. Make sure you follow it over here with us, because I guess I'm going to follow it too, even though it pisses me off. Like, especially people in the chat with some of the racist bullshit they talking about in here. Like, we just trying to figure out what's going on. I don't condone any of this. I mean, I wish it wouldn't have happened. They both young. I had their whole life ahead of them. I don't root nobody's death. Like, that ain't how I was raised. That ain't how I get down. Period. But we got to tell it, because it's happening. And this is something I want to see how this play out, because all the cases that he's bringing up, nobody had a problem. I mean, that Daniel Penny thing, really, I mean, come on. He could have let that dude go and not took his life, in my opinion. It was okay that he restrained him, but to take his life like that was crazy to me. And that self-defense, for him, he wasn't defending himself. He was helping other people. I don't have a problem with him taking him down, but unaliving him like that was cold. And people was rooting that on like no other. Standing 10 toes down, 20. Hell, they on all fours. And they stood up and donated money. But the minute somebody black, this happens with a kid, and people want to donate over $400K and it gets shut down. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Dude was sitting up on the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity. So I'm watching everything going on around it, because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up. McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me?
Now somebody said I was on your side until you brought up Penny. That was crazy. Wait, but this isn't. Yeah, that was. I guess you're not hearing anything that I'm saying. You just hear what you want to hear. I just said that I don't condone any of this, and I wish that it wouldn't happen. But I feel like it was self-defense, because he had a group of boys running up on him, grabbing his bag and telling him what to do and putting their hands on him. That is self-defense, whether you like it or not. So I don't care if you're on my side or not. I got my own mind, and I don't need a group to tell me how to think. So let me see what you're saying again. I was on your side until you brought up Penny. That was crazy to you, but this isn't. Just prove this racially motivated by you. Get the fuck out of my chat. How about that? You can be wild in that stanky ass block party. Don't come in here and tell me how I'm thinking or how to think. See what I'm saying? This stuff pisses me off. Like, and it just really, like, people like you. I don't care if you're on my side or not. I feel like I feel about Penny. It was okay for him to restrain that man, but he did not have to choke him out and take his life. When he stopped moving, he could have let up off of him. You damn right. I mean, I wouldn't want to take somebody's life if I don't have to. I'm not a cold-blooded killer. I guess you are.
Thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude went in the
Are
bag.
you not hearing this? This somebody that was there that said they grabbed him and tried to punch on him. And he warned them not to touch him.
They went to try to
So if he wouldn't have had a weapon, he just would have got jumped on, maybe threw down the bleachers, maybe paralyzed, whatever. You don't know. You can't tell people how to defend themselves in a damn fight. But one thing for sure, too, for certain, you should not put your hands on nobody over a stupid seat under a tent. It was stupid. God damn, this man. I don't even, man. See, this why, this is why.
punch on this dude, man, and he protected himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah, it wasn't just one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, the dude that got unalive, and his brother physically went over there to intentionally. He had a. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. If the school is at least 5 to 10 miles away.
And we heard the twins say that his brother, they defend each other right or wrong. They was going to get him out that tent. He didn't go to that school. He shouldn't have been there. All that. You know, I don't know what made him sit under the tent. I don't know. Maybe he thought that because they all play sports, they could be cool. You know, I don't know. It shouldn't have never happened, but it did. And we here right now. Can't nobody take it back. But the law should work for everybody. If it's a law, you know what I'm saying? The law should work for everybody, not depending on, you know, how you want to distribute the law to individuals.
It was community track meet, bro. It wasn't a school track meet. So he had the right to have a knife on his person, bro.
Exactly.
And see, in my last video on this story, I told y'all that someone was going to come forward soon and tell the truth. I also told y'all the other twin brother, he was involved. And see, I knew what they was telling us didn't make sense. The eyewitness said it was raining, so Karmelo was under the tent. Why would he leave from under the tent when it's pouring down, raining bad? It don't make sense. So he was under the tent on his phone, and the twins came from another tent in the rain to mess with him on purpose, to jump him on purpose, to punch him on purpose. And that explains why Karmelo Anthony's phone was broken. So in my opinion, Karmelo had every right to defend himself. Why would he leave from under a tent?
You can't tell somebody how to defend themselves. I wish it wouldn't have happened, but it did. But he had no right to unalive that man. But did he have a right to defend himself? Let me know. Let me know.
Make it make sense. I'm telling you, they want us to believe anything they say. And like I told y'all before, it's only 8.6% black people in Frisco, Texas. So the media is on their side. You gotta understand, a lot of these racist Caucasian people.
And Zimmerman should not have gotten off, but he did. And he chased them down after being told not to go after him. That's just crazy. But these type of topics automatically bring up those type of things. And we see the difference and we know what it is. It is what we think it is all the time. The laws work for them and not for us. You're not allowed to defend yourself. Even with weapons, when they catch black folks with weapons, what happened? It don't work the same way.
They have money, so they can pay media outlets to spin the narrative. That's what they did. So they're gonna spin the narrative and get them.
If they would have just left him alone, go get an adult. You know what I'm saying? Was it that serious? Where was the coaches at? Whose tent was it? I know he's the way he was talking, it was kind of running all together. It's sad because they teenagers, they kids, they had their whole life ahead of them. But it happened, man, and you can't take it back. But the law should work the way that it would work for anybody else. And I know they got the footage. They got all kind of tape. Some people ain't gonna release them because right or wrong, they gonna stand for whoever they gonna stand for, and maybe not even tell about what they know. You know, maybe some evidence will they'll get rid of some evidence. You never know how this gonna play out. But he's out, and you got the judge being threatened. Is that right? Is it right to threaten the freaking judge? I'm gonna see if I can find something about that. And then let me see something. I thought I had a different video in here talking about the different rumors that's going on. Fake claims. Let's get to that because it's a lot.
Claims, and it's caused confusion and even fear. I-Team reporter Brian New tonight working on that side, investigating what's behind what is, Brian, a wildfire of disinformation. Live tonight behind what has been a surge of misinformation. It has swept through Frisco following the stabbing. As the news spread, so did a wave of, in some cases, fake reports and false claims, and it's caused confusion and even fear. I-Team reporter Brian New tonight working on that side, investigating what's behind what is, Brian, a wildfire of disinformation. Live tonight at the ISD headquarters. But what happened here is awful enough, and then all of this behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. Doug, you're on social media, so you've seen how quickly misinformation can spread.
Jupiter, was you there?
What set this case apart was the sheer volume of fabric.
Jupiter, let me know if you was there or not. Because I heard the brothers say that they walked over from another place with a group of guys and then they approached him. You know what I'm saying? That was one of his interviews because he done told a couple stories. So it's not self-defense when you have an option to walk away peacefully. Did he have an option or did they grab him? Let me know. Was you there?
Content. We've seen fake autopsy reports. We've seen fake police reports. And all of this comes at a time that Facebook and Instagram made major changes to their platforms and got rid of fact checkers.
Police had barely begun its investigation inside the high school stadium when online, the fire of disinformation was raging. High-profile X accounts, including In Wokeness and Libs of TikTok, amplified the incident within hours, claiming the story received zero national outrage and that it didn't fit the narrative. These two posts combined have received nearly 50 million views. Shortly after, a fake X account posing as the Frisco police chief began spreading fabricated details about the investigation. The next day, a fake autopsy report surfaced on Facebook, falsely claiming drugs were involved.
Wait, did they just say,
but it didn't stop there. The CBS.
I seen that. They said that he has something in his system. Did they say the police report was too? Yep. People was sick.
The Frisco police chief began spreading fabricated details about the investigation. The next day, a fake autopsy report surfaced on Facebook, falsely claiming drugs were involved. But it didn't stop there. The CBS confirmed team, along with police, verified more fake posts, including this Instagram screenshot of guns, further fueling anger and uncertainty.
We've got print, we've got online, we've got broadcast.
Dr. Chip Stewart, a journalism professor at TCU, specializes in social media and free speech. He says the spread of disinformation online isn't new, but he says what Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, did just last week, he believes made it a whole lot worse.
Hey everyone, I want to talk about something important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram.
Earlier this year, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced his company would end the use of fact checkers. Last Monday, all third-party fact checkers were officially removed from Facebook and Instagram. The platforms now rely on users to flag misinformation through a feature called Community Notes, similar to what Elon Musk's social media platform X uses.
I think that we were a lot better off as a culture and a society when Facebook, Twitter, now X, at least pretended to care about the truth and about not inflaming the spread of falsehoods on their platforms. They don't anymore. And they're pretty clear about that. At least they're honest about that.
The disinformation online about the Frisco stabbing has had real consequences. Both the victim and the suspect's family have had their home addresses posted online and have received threats. Even on Saturday, at the funeral of Austin Metcalf, extra security was on hand because of what had been posted online.
What?
Well, most of the misinformation posted online is not a crime. Impersonating a police officer is. The Frisco Police Department, along with the FBI, are investigating who's behind that X account that was posing as the Frisco police chief. But Doug, Nicole, the reality is catching someone who posts misinformation online is tough. People post anonymously. Things spread quickly, and oftentimes
See, this bring out the worst type of damn people. That's what it does. People show their damn face. They cannot. These people just cannot. But anyway, one of the things that I'm looking at is the judge having to have extra security and Karmelo's family. So I'm looking at TMZ right now. The judge in the case gets added security. The FBI is investigating the threats. So this was written 4/15. 4/15/25 at 12:37. And so they are saying that, dang, time is flying. The judge who reduced Karmelo Anthony's bond this week is getting some added security. TMZ Sports has learned after law enforcement said she's been the recipient of threats following her key decision in the case. So they need to hawk down these bastards that's threatening the judge. Shout out to Lady JJ. Welcome in. So the Collin County Sheriff's Office told us Tuesday it's beefed up protection around the judge, Angela Tucker, in the wake of her Monday choice to lower the alleged high school track meet unaliver. Man, get a life. Like, seriously, like the laws can't work how they supposed to work. Like, what do you call this? What we going back to slavery? Is that what we doing here? So the law supposed to, they letting her know, oh, if you don't get it right, then we gonna threaten your life. We gonna take you out. What? Really? That's crazy. So who is the real bullies of the world? Who is the real criminals of the world? The people doing that to the judge, who's just doing her job and following the laws like they should be followed. The CCSO said court staff and concerned citizens reported menacing remarks made against the official. And now its team of investigators, as well as the FBI, are probing the matter. Additionally, the CCSO told us it's a hunt for any party who has released private and personal information about the judge. And so, it might be some people working with her that's doing it. If the individual responsible is identified, the CCSO said potential charges could include unlawful disclosure of a resident's address or telephone number and obstruction of retaliation. It's unclear whether what the contents of the comments made against Tucker were. But the judge reportedly turned her page private shortly after Monday's hearing, presumably due to them. And so we do see that I did see at least one person sharing her a video that they probably got from her page, calling her a DEI lawyer. A DEI judge, trying to downplay her because she black. Oh, all of a sudden she's DEI. We don't need her. Like, no, she has the education to be a damn judge. An attorney for Anthony, the 17-year-old who's facing one count of first-degree felony after he allegedly jabbed Austin. Okay, over a dispute over a seat. All right. After lowering his bond, Tucker ordered Anthony to wear an ankle monitor and be confined to his home. Yep. So that's where we at right now. I'm gonna have to find some additional, like looking for other things, because I didn't have time to do that. How you a DEI judge like you didn't pass the bar? Okay, like that's what I'm saying. Like they just taking that and just going too far with all of that. She got to go. Why she gotta go? Why? The hell out of here. I see you a follower talking about spinal compression. What you following what's his name? Luigi. Did you change your name when that happened? I notice anytime Karmelo or Trump is in the title, here comes okay. That man, like gone with that. Like y'all are the problem. Y'all the real problem. Seriously. And this is, man, these cases be pissing me off. Like I've been seeing it. Hey, Stanford Mom, welcome in. Thank y'all for being here. And please smack the thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you have not. We are going to be following this, even though it's pissing me off. It's necessary for us to pay attention to this. We need to pay attention to this and what happens. You said, who cares? This. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, hopefully, I don't know about all that. I care. I don't care about race. It's the other people that care about race. I care about right and wrong, the laws being pushed the right way for everybody. And I'm definitely not Lucifer's daughter. Like I don't celebrate people's loss and death and all that. That's freaking ridiculous. That's for demon people. That ain't me. I'm a child of the king. Let's get that right. And I can't stand racism or racist ass people. So just so you know that these kind of cases pisses me off because they do. We always behind the ball with it. We always the ones on the under somebody damn gum under somebody damn shoe when it come down to the laws and it working the right way. I also followed a Stand Your Ground case that that was God, I see her face. Oh, Susan Lorenz. I can remember her damn name quicker. Unaliving the mother, Adjika Owens. And trying to use self-defense. It definitely didn't work in her favor. I got a playlist if y'all unfamiliar with that case, but that's one that I followed that worked the way it should. But I'm telling you, they took out all kind of stuff. They didn't. Oh, we don't want to make it about race, so we ain't gonna talk about it, even though it was all about race. So that pissed me off about that case, although it still worked. It worked the way that it was supposed to. But I'm just saying, I see how they be doing doing things different. Oh, thank you so much, Angela Patterson. I appreciate that. I'm just now seeing it. They have released the judge address, and Karmelo family is residing at a different location. So much hatred is being shown. Exactly. And they better be careful, because y'all know something else that happened when cases like this happen. People, you start finding more black folks on trees. I don't know if y'all think that ever went away, but it didn't. I covered a case, Javion McGee, a truck driver, 21 years old, just driving, delivering stuff to North Carolina, found at the base of a damn tree, and they want to say he did it himself. With no evidence, no proof. And ain't nothing being done. Ain't even released his autopsy. Man, just... That was, matter of fact, I think that was, shoot. Was that the last one I covered? Nah, because I think Daniel Penny was after that. But anyway, here we go again with these tough cases. Lady JJ, thank you so much. She said, keep shining and grinding, Miss V. Lady J, when I tell you these people have me hot. But thank you so much. I appreciate both of y'all donations. Let me drop do a little drop for y'all. I definitely appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody in the chat. Please smack that thumbs up though, y'all. It's so very important. But shout out to Lady JJ and dang, let me come back over here. Shout out to Lady JJ and Angela Patterson for the super chats. Now I gotta go back. Look, I be having, look, I got a whole switchboard over here, y'all. A whole production over here. Shout out to you. Let's go. Shout out to Lady JJ. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Whew, my goodness. Okay, let me see what y'all saying. We gonna get up out of here. Blessed, I think someone arrested a YouTube man. Really? What happened? Oh, y'all, you talking to Bless. Why no arrest for those twin boys found in the mountains? Oh my God. Yes, I talked about that once. And they talking about the guy, he pretty much, didn't they arrest him or they fired? No, they said they fired him, but they also said he was a volunteer firefighter. I don't know. Like, I did cover that case just once. I talked about it, but I have not followed back up because they don't have no witnesses, no cameras, and if they do, they got rid of it. But we know what happened with that. They was lured somehow up there and unalived. I think they said it's like 1% black people that live there. And it's messed up because I haven't heard. I'm trying to figure out, is the family talking? Because if the family is not talking, that's why we not hearing anything. It take the family to come out and say some stuff. If they not talking, it kind of just died with the news. You know? When was Chris Brown ever spoken? But all right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Yes, please hit the like button. And shout out to the people on a replay. Thank y'all for tuning in too and hitting the like button. But the like button is very important, y'all. But we gonna stay on this. It's again, it's very upsetting for me, but we gotta talk about it. It just really irritates me when people come in here with that, because I can't stand racism. It's very rampant. It's very much alive and rampant in this world. And we know that. And the people that act like they don't, they part of the damn problem. Seriously. Because it's happening every day. But anyway, we're going to get up out of here. I'll see y'all in the next one. Woo. Woo. Nicholas, get out my chat. It happens, and it definitely happens. But the law needs to work the way it's supposed to. Period. BFF, can you block Nicholas, please? Wow. Peace and love, y'all. We out.